What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And it has been a pretty crazy day in the UFC, in the combat sports world. There's been a lot of announcements, there's been a lot of things going down, and it all started about 16 hours ago, maybe about a day ago almost, when I actually put out a community post, and you can go back and look at this, and I posted word for word, expecting some big news coming for the Saudi Arabia and UFC 303 cards. Won't elaborate further. And then I just put, trust, botched. No, but that's what I put out as a community post because I had inside sources. I had people in the know. I'm not going to reveal who, but I had people telling me what was going down. I knew that Khamzat was out yesterday. I knew that the UFC was looking to do either a Mavov. I knew that a Mavov was the first choice. Obviously, that didn't pan out. Ikram is now the replacement. But the big news, obviously, I'm not going to claim that this is some like crazy thing that I knew because everyone was kind of suspecting Conor was out. But I knew Conor was out. I knew that they were going to add Ortega versus Lopes to the card. And if you go back to my community post earlier, I did post saying that Jiri versus Pereira will be the replacement main event. And that was about 2.5-3 hours before Dana White jumped on Instagram and announced that that was in fact the main event. So yeah, you can call me Mystic Left Lane because I predict these things. So yeah, that is a long-winded intro for you, but we're going to be talking about all of the announcements. Khamzat's out, Ikram's in, Conor and Chandler are both out, Pereira and Jiri are in, Ortega and Lopes are in, Jamal Hill's out, Mr. Yapper himself, Salty Mole Hill, he's gone, he's out the fight. Anthony Smith on paper is in, on paper he might win this. But yeah, we're going to be talking about all of the matchups, and yeah, again, Mystic Left Lane here. I am basically an inside source. I am in direct communication with Dana White because yeah, I knew all of this. So yeah, let's move on though to, let's talk about the fights. So we'll start here, the new main event for UFC 303, and I gotta say, I kind of think it's a better main event than Conor vs. Chandler because, yes, we were all excited for the return of the Mac, but, like, was anyone, like, I don't know, because it just didn't seem like it had that much hype. Like, obviously, it was going to do big numbers and all that, but it just, no one was like, oh my god, can't wait for McGregor vs. Chandler. It was like, I can't wait for McGregor, but the Chandler side of things just didn't add anything. But this main event is like a legitimate world title fight, not two lower quality, like mid-low quality martial artists who just have name value. That's what kind of Chandler is compared to this, which is probably the two of the three best light heavyweights in the world right now in Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. Obviously, Pereira defending his belt for the second time at light heavyweight. And Dana White announced this. Obviously, we know Conor's out. It's a minor injury as well. That is the report. So they're trying to rebook. This is also something I was told. I was actually told that they were looking to do, they were originally looking to keep Chandler on the card and do him versus Oliveira. At that stage, the Evloev, why do I keep saying Evloev? The Ortega-Lopes fight was still the go there, but they did want to actually do Chandler versus Oliveira at 170, I guess. That's what I was told. And the original plan was they were looking at potentially doing Holloway versus Conor McGregor. Now, obviously, none of that was announced, so you guys are going to find that far-fetched, but just think about this. I knew about Ortega and Lopes, and I knew that, and then like about 4 hours later, I knew that Jiri vs. Alex was it, and I also knew that Khamzat was out. So, yeah, before you go and say, what the fuck, that would never happen, you know, I got a lot of it right. So, part of it was wrong. That was one of the options. Obviously, that's the thing though, like, options get chucked out there. But obviously this was what they ended up going with. So yeah, great main event. I'm looking forward to it. I think you got to pick Pereira. I just don't think Jiri's going to be at his best in this fight either. Because both of them taking it on short notice. This is not like one guy was fighting and then one guy's stepping in on short notice. Both of these guys taking it on short notice. I don't think Jiri Prochazka is that recovered from his fight against Rakic, which was like, it's going to be how long? Because we were all saying, oh my god, why the fuck is Jamal Hill fighting Khalil Rountree on this card? That got booked a week after 300 when he got KO'd. Well, like, it's going to be not even 10 weeks between the fights, or like roughly 10 weeks between fights. What the fuck is he doing? He's going to get KO'd. Jiri took a beating against Rakic. I think the only reason why people aren't being like, oh my god, he's going to get KO'd, is because it's Jiri and because he won the fight against Rakic. But he was getting beaten up, his legs were getting chewed up, he was hobbling around, So I don't think he's going to be like physically at his best. I don't think Pereira will be either, but I think Pereira's sort of physical limitations will be more on like a maybe not the best weight cut. Obviously, he's taking it on short notice. But Jiri, I genuinely don't think his body is like fully recovered. Like I think his legs are still probably beaten up. I don't think he'll take the leg kicks too well. And I don't think his chin's going to be that amazing either. Because if you think about it, he took ages coming back after the Glover fight and fought Pereira, and his chin was alright, but he did get cracked, he did get dropped, he got finished, bit of an early stoppage, but Rakic was whooping his ass. Rakic rocked him a couple times, but Yuri's just autistic enough to not get KO'd. But I do think against Pereira, he's got that precision, he's got that like one-shot KO power. Rakic has never been like a full KO guy who's just sleeping people with punches. And he was tagging up Jiri. Pretty much Jiri had no moments in round one of that fight. So I do think Pereira should catch him. I think he'll put him away inside 3 rounds would be my guess. I think it'll come a little bit later than the finish in the first fight happened, but maybe it'll be another round 1 finish and Pereira will just continue to speed run his Hall of Fame career and defend the second belt in the space of 2 months. So yeah. Hopefully Pereira, I want Pereira to get it done because I just want to see how long this guy, it'll be sick to see Jiri get the belt back, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be upset if Pereira loses, I'm not some hardcore Pereira fan, but I just kind of want to see this dude keep trying to break the sport of MMA and prove that you don't need to be a well-rounded martial artist to win a belt, because that's kind of funny. But yeah, I do think Pereira's going to win as the early prediction, and let me know in the comments, do you think this is a better main event than Conor vs Chandler? Like, are you more excited for this than Conor vs Chandler? Because in my opinion, like, these short notice main events, like Volkanovski, Makhachev 2 when that got announced, I think like Oliveira vs Islam was like a more, like, in terms of the circumstances, overall, obviously Volkanovski Islam is a more competitive fight than Oliveira Islam, but it's like the short notice factor. But that made people more excited. That's like, what if he does it? All this stuff. But yeah, with this short notice like fight, I think it's probably got more buzz than Conor, because I think sometimes it takes, like, obviously there's some main events like with 300, with 299, with 298, with Volkanovski Topuria. People are buzzing with Strickland Dricus. So, like, people are just buzzing the whole time, cannot wait for it. But with some fights, like with Conor vs Chandler, I feel like there just wasn't a crazy, like, the buzz was just can't wait to see Conor back, but like that's going to happen anytime he fights. It's not like opponent specific. I don't think anyone really cared about this fight. And the only real interest was when we heard about it potentially getting cancelled. So yeah, I do think this is a better overall fight. I think it's more exciting. I think it's more competitive too. Conor Chandler's competitive, but I think this will be like a more competitive fight to watch. Like Conor Chandler, in theory, could be, like, it's competitive in terms of maybe Conor wins, maybe Chandler wins. But I think whoever wins is just going to smoke the other one. These guys are not going back and forth. Like Conor and Chandler, one of them's getting KO'd. Like, immediately. With this, I think we can see both guys have some moments and it'll be a fun fight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, picking Pereira, but I could see Jiri winning. Let's move on, though, to the co-main event for this card. So next up, let's talk about Lopes versus Brian Ortega, Soy Tea City. You know, I think Brian Ortega is going to get knocked the fuck out in round 1 and get brutally slept unconscious out onto canvas. Yeah, he's getting slept, I think, in this fight. Maybe I'm overrating Diego Lopes, but sorry if I'm seeing someone go tit for tat on short notice, on less than a week's notice with Movsarevlov in the grappling, and then proceed to fucking rinse Gavin Tucker with ease on the ground, smoke Pat Sabatini, who's a good featherweight outside the rankings, who's beat a lot of good guys, and then just run through Sadiq Yusuff and become the first guy to ever KO him. Sorry, I'm going to pick that guy who's clearly got the most fucking retarded power you'll ever see in the featherweight division. Him and Topuria just hit stupidly hard. Fair play to Evloev for not getting KO'd. Maybe Lopes just leveled up after that fight. Like, he gained his aura in that fight, and then he's just been aura maxing ever since. And every time he gets another win, his power fucking doubles, because he just slumped. Diego Lopes just slumped Sadiq Yusuff in the clinch with fucking, not like out cold, but he just put him away bad with uppercuts in the clinch. Ortega's defense is shit. I genuinely do not know how this guy is ranked the number 3 fighter in the world. It's crazy, because featherweight I consider a pretty good weight class, but I don't I do not rate Ortega. I never have. I picked Yair against him. I was wrong. I don't care. I picked Volk against him, obviously. Like, I pick against him in most of his fights, and he somehow wins fights. Like, his striking's not terrible, but he came back, and maybe it was some ring rust. Maybe he'll look better here, but on short notice, I don't trust him to look as good. With his Lopes, he's fighting actively. I trust Lopes to look good on and any conditions, really. And Evloev came back. Sorry, why do I keep saying Evloev? Ortega came back, looked fucking awful against Yair in the stand-up, got dropped by punches against Yair. Yair is a dynamic guy, but he's not a power puncher. And you guys can come at me in the comments and be like, oh, he's one of the best strikers at featherweight. Yeah, he's a really good striker. He's not a power puncher. He beat up Josh Emmett with kicks. He's got good kicks and knees. He dropped Brian Ortega with punches, made him look like a bitch in the first round. But then, unfortunately, Yair's got no grappling. Diego Lopes is, in my opinion, if you had to design someone to be like the most difficult fucking matchup for Ortega, this is assuming Lopes is as good as I think he is, which I think he's very good. Just the style, the concept of like a guy who's really strong, bigger than Ortega, stronger than Ortega, got more power than Ortega. Lopes has a chin on him as well. Got great jiu-jitsu. Probably Ortega's jiu-jitsu purely better, but this guy fucking had Evloev in deep shit on the ground. And apart from round two when he got beaten up a bit, Evloev really wasn't able to get much like sustained, like crazy dominance in the grappling. And Ortega is not a crazy good wrestler, so I don't see him just taking down Lopes, who we saw Pat Sabatini try and take this guy down. Lopes got a fucking underhook and pancakes that little midget into the canvas. So I think Lopes is going to be way too strong for Ortega to have any success in the grappling. Maybe if the fight extends, I would probably give Ortega more of a chance, but I don't think it matters. I don't think, like, if you're telling me this fight's not going to get finished, okay, I could see Ortega winning that then. And especially if it was 5 rounds, I'll be like, okay, if it doesn't get finished in the first rounds by Lopes, I could see Ortega taking over late. But in round 1, Ortega is so fucking open on the feet. He's going to get uppercutted into fucking oblivion. He's going to get smoked on the feet. He's going to get dropped early. His recoverability was not that good against Yair. Yair was fucking him up for this. That was not like an Amavov Cannonier rocked him a little bit and he was recovering. Like, he was still cooked. He was getting beaten up on the ground as well. Lopes is just more aggressive and like not a bitch like Yair Rodriguez. In the most respectful way possible, Yair is a fucking ragdoll. He gets ragdolled on the ground. He's a little fucking doll, and he gets chucked around if you try and impose your will against him. If you're not just doing some striking shit against him, he's cooked. He doesn't know what to do. Like, he gets tossed around by anyone who grapples. Diego Lopes would smoke Yair in the grappling. And I think he would beat him in round 1. But with Ortega, I don't think he can take Lopes down. I don't think he's going to outstrike Lopes early, unless he can just stay out of danger completely for the first round, and then maybe Lopes' gasses. But even Lopes' cardio on short notice against Movzar looked solid. So I just don't know what the fuck Ortega's going to do. I watched Rigo's breakdown because no one else has fucking done a breakdown. I don't know what MMA Guru's doing, or Lucas, why they not posting. But from what I've seen, I know Rigo's picking Ortega. Like, I'm not saying Rigo is like a fucking respected analyst, but like, I don't know why you would pick Ortega. Like, what are you picking Ortega by? Decision? You think he's just going to stay out of danger against Lopes when Yair fucking put him on his ass in round 1 with punches? Like, no, this is not going to happen. He's going to get him in the clinch, he's going to uppercut the fuck out of him, and he's going to drop him and put him away. So that's my prediction. Let's move on, though, to another fight that got announced for the card. Anthony Smith, on paper, Carlos Ulberg, if you take away his power and his check hook and everything that makes him dangerous, he's a very beatable fighter. Ulberg, I do think he's going to sleep Anthony Smith. I think we're going to go back to 500 level Anthony Smith, who's incapable of winning 2 in a row. This guy has just been going either 1-for-1 or 2 in a row losses wise for fucking ages. He lost to, I'm trying to think back. He lost to Ankalaev. Was his fight after that walk? He lost to Ankalaev, lost to Walker, beat Span, lost to Khalil, beat Vitor. He's losing to Ulberg. This motherfucker can't win 2 in a row. It's not happening. Ulberg's going to sleep him. Smith's not going to be able to take... I don't think Smith will take Ulberg down straight away. I think he'll try and feel him out on the feet. He couldn't take down Khalil. He couldn't take down most of the guys. The only reason he subbed Vitor is because that fucking retard's retarded. I just said the same word twice. That's how fucking annoying that performance was. This retarded Vitor Belfort fucking wannabe, Vitor Petrino, juiced up fucking dumbass shot a takedown on a submission on the guy whose only chance to win was like by submission or by grappling. Like, he's not going to beat you on the feet, and you shoot a takedown and give him a guillotine. What are you doing? So Vitor Petrino was retarded in that fight, but I don't think Smith doesn't take that many people down anymore. Let's be honest. Like, he's slower, he's older, he's not as strong. Ulberg's going to be way stronger, way more explosive, way more dynamic. He's going to keep him off. If Smith shoots, he'll keep him off immediately. Like, if it goes into second and third, I could see Smith winning. I think Ulberg's going to win by round 1 KO. This guy just blitzes and you're fucked. Like, what's Smith going to do? He's not fast twitch. His defense is shit. He gets cracked a lot. I don't think Khalil Roundtree's that technical of a striker, and he fucking was whooping Smith's ass. So yeah, I think Smith's getting KO'd in this fight. But, you know, on paper, he could win. And this might just end up... Look, if I've gotten all my picks right on this card, I'm sweeping the card on picks, and then this fight comes around, I'll be like, okay, I officially changed my pick to Anthony Smith. Because when I swept the Brazil card on picks 301, apart from this fight, because Vitor's dumb. So yeah, this might be the one fight I get wrong on the card. But whatever. Let's move on though to another bit of news. So this was the first bit of news that was announced today. The first in a line of many crazy announcements was the fact that first we got the news that Khamzat was in fact out. That was the first bit of news, which I knew yesterday. I told you, go back to my community post. I fucking told you. I didn't explicitly say Khamzat's out because I'm not allowed. I can't say it because I can't tell everyone the news because otherwise I don't want to get the person who told me in trouble. But I knew Khamzat was out. I said, news coming about Saudi and 303 soon. I knew the Khamzat news. I knew when Whittaker posted his fucking Instagram saying anytime, anywhere, I'm like immediately sus. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? So then I reached out to my source. I also then saw a tweet from Ikram Aliskerov, who tweeted out like a signing contract emoji, signing piece of paper emoji. And I'm just like, okay, what the fuck? What's this guy talking about? He's got a fight this weekend. Reached out to my source. I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Why is Ikram tweeting even though he's got a fight this weekend? Why is Robert Whittaker acting like he's just fucking accepted a fight when he's fighting this weekend? And then I kind of put two and two together as I said that, and then just got my suspicions confirmed. I'm like, yo, main event cancelled, ? And they're like, yes. And then I was told, obviously, Amavov was the front runner. That didn't happen. They apparently also asked Strickland. They asked Kamaru Usman. They asked someone else, I think. Dana White in his video said they asked everyone. I wouldn't say they literally asked everyone, but like Vittori's injured. They're not going to do fucking like Chris Curtis. They're not, I think Baralio's injured. Fluffy Hernandez is injured. They're not going to do Roman Dolidze against Robert Whittaker. That's just, no one cares. Like, I know McGregor was whinging about this and saying Dagestani privilege, which I agree. It is definitely privilege. Dagestanis do have a lot of privilege in this sport. That's the whole basis of Umar fighting Sandhagen. But with this particular circumstance, I don't think you can directly be like, yes, Dagestani privilege. Like, Ikram was booked against Muniz. He then got booked against a bum. It's not like they booked this fight on a full camp and like, okay, yeah, Whittaker coming off a win versus Ikram Aliskerov coming off Wally Alves. Full camp, full notice. See you guys in 2 months for this banger of a fight. Like, they didn't do that. This was like a last resort. This was a fucking having to figure something out. They needed a person with some sort of connection to the Sand people over there. Like, what do you want? You want fucking Hermansson or some shit? Like, you want Hermansson versus Whittaker? Like, is that what we want? Like, someone was like tweeting like Kevin Holland. Like, do people really give a fuck about Kevin Holland versus Robert Whittaker as a main event? Like, I don't think Ikram's gonna win. I don't think he's gonna win. Don't get me wrong. I'm picking Robert Whittaker by either TKO or like easy decision. Like, I think the litmus test here for Ikram, if somehow he wins, but like, assuming he loses, which I think most people think he's going to, I would say like the litmus test is if you get finished, you're probably not top 15 caliber, because even though Whittaker's great, he doesn't really finish anyone. But if you go to a decision with him and have some moments, if you maybe take a round or two off him, then yeah, I could see you probably beating some back-end middleweights or maybe some like a Paulo Costa type guy. But like, if you get completely smoked by Whittaker and have no moments, then yeah, that's going to tell me you're not a top 15 caliber guy. But still, I think this is better than like Hermansson or like Dolidze. Like the guys that would have been better than this if they could have done it. I think Amavov would have been arguably better just because at least there's a higher ranking. People are saying Cannonier. I heard someone saying, let's appease Cannonier for his wrongdoing in the main event, and we'll give him a fight with Whittaker. Yeah, so we're gonna make him turn around, fly across the world, and cut weight. After literally getting rocked and taking damage and probably being suspended for over 30 days with a concussion protocol, or with a post-fight suspension. Not even concussion protocol, but he got rocked in a fight and went to the 4th round and got tagged up a lot. There's no way that guy's fighting 2 weeks later. Or I heard people saying Strickland, obviously Strickland's not going to take it. And they offered Strickland. They offered Kamaru Usman. So MMA Guru acting like, oh my God, they just went to Ikram as the first choice because of course he's Dagestani, they must have. Obviously they're going to try and do someone relevant for Saudi. And also, Whittaker was in Saudi. He posted on Instagram he's in Saudi. What, is this cunt just going to go to Saudi Arabia and then be like, nah, I don't want to fight? I heard him saying, push it back, push Whittaker back to a different card against someone else. What the fuck is the point then? He's in Saudi. That's his big moment. He's got a main event locked in. What other card, what, you want to push him back to August to fight in Perth? I'm pretty sure he wants to stay more active than that. So I think people are just whinging. Look, am I saying this is the best fucking fight ever? No. But at least Ikram's got some intrigue. I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's going to beat Whittaker, but I could see him catching him. There is an element of intrigue just because Whittaker has a bit of a weak chin and Ikram's got some power. We know Drickus dropped Whittaker with a fucking jab, and Ikram drops people with jabs. I know they're not people the caliber of Robert Whittaker, but Ikram definitely has power. And even if he's not going to be nearly as technically good as Whittaker, we have seen him still KO people. He's dangerous. He's got submissions. So this is still a fight that presents danger for Whittaker, but in technical aspect, this is not the same setup. This is not the same. I don't carry the same feeling going into this as Khamzat might just smoke him in round 1. There is no chance Whittaker's going to win round 1. My thought going into the Khamzat fight was Whittaker's just got to survive round 1. If he survives round 1, he's going to win. With his Ikram, it's I think he's fine in round 1. He could win round 1 comfortably, for all I know. But with Khamzat, it's he just needs to not get fucking smoked and subbed in a minute, and he should be good. That was the worry there with Khamzat. And I was going to pick Khamzat to win because I was I think he's just got plot armor. But apparently Khamzat does not have plot armor because his fucking immune system needs some armor by the fucking looks of it, because that he looked in rough shape. He's in a hospital bed. There's not even it's not even a photo of him sitting upright or smiling or giving a message himself. The only messages coming from the Khamzat camp are from his team. We're seeing photos of him in the hospital, not even looking he's not even smiling at the camera. He's not even acknowledging the photo. He's just asleep in a hospital. Very bad stuff for Khamzat. This might be another what if case. This might be another Zabit or another one of these guys where what if Khamzat could stay healthy? What if Khamzat could consistently get in the cage, because it's not looking like something that's super likely. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm picking Whittaker, obviously. I'm worried that he might just get dropped by a jab and shit himself. That is a concern. And I think the bookmakers are trying to bait some people into betting Whittaker, but then also because I think they know that Whittaker's the better fighter. Ikram's unproven, but I do think he's got that hype, because if this was anyone else stepping in with the record that they had and not Ikram Aliskerov, they'd probably be a plus 250. But Ikram's plus 120 or some shit like that. So I might lay a bet down on Robbie Whittaker, but I'm ultimately not confident that he might not just get KO'd with a jab. But I do think if this is the technical fight, if he doesn't get dropped with a jab, then I think he should win comfortably. But yeah, those are all the fight announcements, guys. Again, go check out my community posts. I predicted these things. So subscribe and put the notifications on for this channel, and I might drop some more news when I get some. So yeah, that's why you want to keep it locked in on the Left Lane channel, because who the fuck else? I ain't seen Lucas Tracy break no fight news. I ain't saying I Love Bedtime is a great content creator, but I ain't saying him break any fight news. I'm not saying Guru break any fight news, to be honest with you. So, I am ahead of these people in the game. They are not on my level. So quite frankly, they need to catch up to me. And, although I do need to catch up with the impressions, but you're not hearing for impressions. You're here for quality content, and you're here for me to break some news. I guess that's the new thing you're here for. So yeah, I'll keep trying to do that. I'll keep trying to do some quality content, and I'll keep trying to do these impressions, even though I'm never going to hit them. But yeah, peace out, guys. See ya.